Hello, and welcome to the Get Cozi Podcast. I'm your host, Alea. So grab your drink, grab a snack, grab your project, and get cozy because in today's podcast episode, I'm going to be dropping a major knowledge on how to be a crochet content creator that gets paid to do it. I've been wanting to share this information for a while, but I'm going to be honest, I've been a little bit insecure because my numbers are not where I want them to be right now. However, I am getting paid. And I want to share that knowledge with you because I know some of you want to be content creators, whether you crochet, Tunisian crochet, knit, sew, when it comes to fiber arts in general. And the way I go about content creation and monetizing my content is I feel like it's really gatekept within the community, and that's fine, but I'm here to break open those chains and open the door for everybody because I feel like everybody can do this. I feel like anybody can do this if they put in the work. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure you stay for the rest of the video. Now, before we get started, you may be asking Alea, why do you think that you are qualified to give out this knowledge? My numbers are not in the tens of thousands. Actually, I don't have 10K subscribers. I don't have 10K anything on any platform. I think collectively I probably have about 10K supporters. But honestly, you don't have to start. You don't have to wait until you get that support before you get paid. You can do it right now. So, I have been studying a lot of content creators that are very successful, like TL Yarn Crafts. I haven't talked to her about this, but I consider Beth Elliott from Betty McKnit, to be my mentor, and she has also dropped a lot of knowledge on me throughout the years that we've been friends, and I've been implementing them into my content creation, and I just want to give you a sneaky peek on how you can do that as well. None of this is groundbreaking information, but I think a lot of the times people don't want to tell you because they want to keep these opportunities to themselves. But how many of you know that there is so much money in this world? No matter how much the economy is going down, there is always going to be somebody who wants to buy your pattern, that's going to watch your video. There's going to be companies that want you to work for them. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So, I also have a bachelor's degree in communications through the art forms. So, what that means is through art, I studied through art how the world communicates with their subjects. And I also, for a little bit, studied not media, what's it called? Marketing. Perfect, right? So I have a little bit of both. I did a lot of public speaking, so that's why I'm able to eloquently talk about this. If you don't believe me, here's my degree right here. Alea, that's my maiden name, Johnson. But I did that, okay? So that's why I feel like I am certified to talk about this situation. All right, so with that out of the way, where do you start as a content creator? The first thing you need to do is just start. You don't have to buy any expensive cameras. You don't have to buy any expensive lighting setup. You don't have to have a computer, actually. If you have a phone, an iPad, a tablet, anything that connects to the internet, you can make content. Now, I would recommend if you're going to put a lot of money into one of these technologies, in one of these electronics, I would say your phone. It's multi-use. You can film, you can edit, you can upload through your phone. And of course, it's something that you carry with you all the time, everywhere you go. I would recommend investing in your phone. If you're going to invest in anything, invest in your phone. That's number one. If you have a phone, you can create content. Next up, you don't have to have the most expensive crochet hooks, yarn, anything. Okay, you can start with little to no money at this point. When I started making my videos I think I started making videos in 2022. I was recording on my iPad. I was editing my videos on my iPad. Were they bad quality? Absolutely. But using my iPad got me some videos that broke like 10,000 views, 18,000 views, 20,000 views, 50,000 views on my iPad. So you literally can start from anywhere. Three things that you're going to need to want to make sure that you stay on top of when you're first starting out. One, you need to have a genuine personality. So don't come on here expressing a personality that you can't keep up with. Okay? That's why a lot of people like how I talk. And I think some of you can clock when I'm being disingenuous or I'm really trying to, what is it called? Oh my gosh. I'm not saying push a product, but when I have a contract I'm trying to keep up and I have to advertise a product, I think you guys can understand because I have to talk a certain way. But when it's just your personality, your audience are going to want the full, genuine you. Okay? Now, what does the full, genuine you look like business wise? It can go two ways. You can be the good version of yourself, which is, nice, brand friendly, all that other good stuff, or you can be the radical version of yourself and you can be on the opposite end of the marketing spectrum of marketability, and that's just something that you have to keep in mind. For me, I'm what you see now is what you're gonna get every single day, 24/7. I don't do a lot of cursing. I'm not very politically radical. All of those certain things. I'm not saying you can't do that and still be marketable, but for me, I chose to be my authentic self and not try to follow things that I know are going to be hot ticketed items or hot topics when I'm not really invested in those, right? I only talk about things that I'm invested in. I only show products that I'm invested in, okay? So you have to make sure that your personality is on lock. The same personality that people see from day one has to be the same personality that people see day 99, okay? Or 999. So you have to make sure you keep that up because if you switch up on people, your branding is not consistent and they're not going to like that. Number two is content. You have to make content that is worth watching. Okay. You have to, whether you sit here and you review products, giving your genuine opinion on things, whether you sit here and talk about what project you're working on, why you like it, why you don't like it, whether you're sitting here and you're talking about your experience with this certain yarn or your experience at this certain like fiber festival or convention, you have to have some type of content that people are going to want to care about. Here's an example of things that people do not care about when it comes to your content. And you may get upset with me. People are not going to want to sit here and watch a video of you being monotone and complaining about something or, oh, woe is me and this and that. Some people might like that to feel better, but that's like, no one wants to watch a whole video of you raging out. That's short-sighted. They want valued content. At least that's what I like. And I think the people in my ecosystem also enjoy that content, especially when it comes to longer form content. If you are doing short form content, maybe the rage bait is for you, but I'm promising you that it's short term. It's only going to last as long as you're in their algorithm. And then three, consistency. You want to be consistent with when you first start out, it's super important to get consistent. I saw one content creator who really wanted to get monetized on YouTube, really wanted to start making on YouTube. And so he recorded, I think he did 2 videos a day for 30 days. He got his subscriber count that he needed for YouTube, and he got his watch time hours that he needed for YouTube. He did 2 videos every day that were at least 10 minutes long. That's just YouTube. I'm going to talk about other platforms later on in different videos, but I'm going to talk about YouTube because you're watching this video on YouTube. And he gained the following that he needed, and he got monetized, and that's how he built his channel. If you're serious about content creation and making this something that you do on a daily basis, you might have to get that radical. On top of that, if you're not going to do that, okay, because I understand that's not for everybody, when you start your content, you need to make sure that you're posting on the same time every day, right? So if you choose that you're going to post a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there better be, when I log into my app, there better be your video on my page or in my notifications Monday at 12 o'clock or whatever time you choose, right? Wednesday at 12 o'clock, Friday at 12 o'clock. Okay, I know I'm going to click on that same video as soon as I open my app at the same time. So that's going to be something you have to do when you look into your analytics when you start making videos, but you need to be consistent, right? You need to be posting a video on the same days every day of the week, or every the days that you decide during that week. If you decide that you're only going to make one video a week, that's cool. Be consistent with it. I remember at the beginning of my content creation, I did one video Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I would do a video Sunday and Wednesday, and then I'll go live on Friday, something along those lines. I would also, once you gain more followers, I would also, or when you get live access, I would also recommend going live. That gives people a chance to actually know you and get to know you in real time. It's really important for people to know your personality and know what type of person you are, and get to know you, because that's what builds trust, and that what builds people to want to come back to you time and time again, to keep up with you, keep up with your content. And when you build more trust, you can start making money. Just like we all trust our local gas station to continuously have gas whenever we go. It's the same thing with content creation. So you're going to want to make sure that your personality is on point. It's a genuine personality, but you got to figure out, are you going to be on the radical or are you going to be on the marketable side? 2, you're going to want to make sure that content? Yeah, you got to figure out if your content is valuable or not. It has to be valuable to somebody out there. Okay, don't make lazy content. Okay, and then number 3, you gotta want to make sure that you are being consistent. Get a schedule, stick to it for at least 60 days until you start seeing your followers come in, and you can start analyzing your analytics and figuring out a different schedule from then. Pick something, stick to it, and then analyze further. Okay, so that's just the first part, little overview of getting started in content creation. When it comes to other apps, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, I'm not on Facebook. Facebook's a weird place. Facebook be Facebooking, so I stay away from Facebook. But I do TikTok, and I do Instagram, and of course I'm really big on YouTube. You have to learn what works on what platform. So for example, for me anyway, I will post a TikTok, and I will use that same TikTok for both TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. However, I will do different supplementary or secondary content. So I may post like the video that I'm posting on all my accounts, and then on TikTok, I'll go into something further, or I will have a catchy intro and catch people's attention. So on TikTok and on short form content in general, you have to catch the person's attention in 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds. If you can't catch that first person's attention in the first 3 seconds, they're gonna scroll, and then you've lost pretty much a supporter, a subscriber, a follower. Okay. So you got to make sure in the first 3 seconds of whatever short form content platform you do has to catch the person's opinion or attention. Next, you have to be providing some type of, like I said, going back to content. If you be like, hey, I just did this, and then you go back into, they're going to swipe. Yeah, you just got that watch, but they're going to swipe. And from now on, when they come on, you go on their For You page, or you go on their main page or their home page, they're going to be disappointed. I don't know how many times where somebody grabs my attention and then they go into like this weird mode of being like monotone and just talking and not really being clear. You're going to want to have to grab their attention and keep it. Don't talk slow. Don't have a whole bunch of I don't know, type of situations. I try myself on my videos, especially the videos that I'm not editing. I try not to use those filler words like Uh, and I just did it. But it's our way of thinking, right? So I would say edit those out or practice that script until you are no longer saying or you know. Okay. Next thing, when you are making your content on short form platforms, you have to create a community. You can't just post your content and just go, right? You have to be active within the community. So you need to be commenting on other creators platforms as well. You need to be liking pictures, you need to be sharing videos, you need to be doing this, doing you have to be active. So it crosses with your content. You interact with somebody else's content. That's just how algorithms work. You like a video, or you like somebody's content, or you comment on somebody's video, every person in that comment section now have the potential to see your content. So you have to be active within the comments, liking videos. And I know some people are like, "Oh, I don't want to like videos. I don't want to follow other people. I want to be cool." You can do that after you've reached 100,000 subscribers, you know what I'm saying? Or 100,000 followers. Or when you're making big money, then you can go back and unfollow people. I don't know how good of advice that is, but don't try to be cool when you first start out. Make friends, make connections. That's how I found my friend and mentor. I'm gonna go ahead and call her my mentor. She can say if she doesn't want to be a mentor, but I think she want to be a mentor to me. I'm a pretty good mentee if I do say so myself. But you should. That's how I met Betty McNitt. That's how I met Miss Stephanie. Mother Hen. I think GB Mother Hen. Um, and that's how I made other connections with other content creators. I have content friends or crochet besties in different countries. I'm going to go visit one of my crochet friends next month in South Korea. Like, make connections with people. Don't be scared to get your hands dirty. Okay, and not really dirty, just shake some hands, kiss some babies, really get comfortable with other content creators. What I would recommend is find a content creator that you really relate to and resonate with, and they may be a bigger creator, but study their style, study what works for them, and try to put that same feel without copying in your own content. For example, I really like Tony from TL Yarn Crafts, and she was one of the reasons why I started doing videos in the first place and creating crochet content. I like her style of video, like you see now, and how clear and bright it is. I like her content where she's crocheting with her hands and you see like the stitches in the hook. That's it. So if you look on my page, you will see that a big majority of my videos when I first was starting out was just me doing stitches and having music playing in the background. I did a TikTok with little me just making this shawl right here, and it got 100,000 views, which was the first video that ever went my type of viral for me. And it was all thanks to Tony, because she did videos of her just crocheting into the screen of my phone, and that inspired me to make my own little crochet point of view video. And that's kind of what started and inspired me to make crochet content. So with that being said, you may be asking, I can make these videos, I can make this content, I can have this personality. When do I start making money? And to that I say very, very soon. So you do have to pick a platform that you're going to make money on. I would say try all three. See what is the monetization requirements for. I say all three because I only use YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. But you can do Facebook as well, or any other platform that you can make money on, whether it be Patreon, Ko-Fi. I think that's it. In my retrospect, that is related to crocheting. Oh, Ribbler, all that other stuff. You can definitely try those platforms and see how to get monetized. I'm gonna be mainly talking about YouTube because that's where I make my most money, aside from brand deals. So on YouTube, I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers to get member monetization and a certain number of watch time. Then you have to have 5,000 subscribers, or they may have changed it, but you didn't have to have 5,000 subscribers to then get monetized fully to do AdSense. I would say work, work, work. You're going to want to make content, and it has to be quality content until you get that monetization. From there, you can either do your memberships through YouTube. I'm actually planning on switching my memberships over to Patreon. I'm just trying to I was like, "Oh, I can get monetized. I'm going to just do Patreon." And then I switched to YouTube, and YouTube isn't creating the community that I want. So I do think I'm going to plan to switch to Patreon. You're going to have to just figure out what's going to work for you, and what are your wants and needs when it comes to monetizing. But you can start off Patreon at any point in your career, at the very beginning or towards the end, like I did. Oh, not the end. I'm not ending this anytime soon. But when you get further along, like I did. But you're going to want to pick a platform and funnel your content through it. Just make content, make quality content, make personal connections with your audience. You need to be in your comment section replying to just about every content, liking everybody's comment, subscribing back to people who you find content is alluring, and that's how you build your community. TikTok is a little bit different. So with TikTok, they take a lot of your revenue as well. So I wouldn't recommend TikTok unless you are making like millions of views, right? Which is very rare for content creation in the crochet community. It's not impossible, but it's rare. Same thing with Instagram. I think you have to have like 10K followers in order for you to be monetized, or a certain number of followers to where you can make money on your shorts. I would say shorts are probably going to be the easiest way if you're doing short form content, because it's really easy to go viral on Instagram, because everybody's on Instagram Reels. And on YouTube, making videos that are longer than, I think, 8 minutes or 10 minutes, you could put ads in it, and that's how you can make your money. Shorts are a really, really, really good way to be making money, even though you're making like 15 cents per view or something like that. So find a platform, connect with it, connect with the community in it, and that's how you're going to build revenue through your content that way. But that's not going to be your main source, right? That's just your business card, your landing page, is what I like to say. You don't need a YouTube channel. Like I said, your main landing page can be any of those platforms. But I'm only saying YouTube because that's where I'm more successful and where I'm more comfortable. I've been making YouTube videos for 11 years. My YouTube channel is 11 years old. So, I've been on here for a while. A lot of the videos that I made prior are privated. But, yeah. So, it really just depends on what platform you're comfortable with. And then get monetized as soon as you possibly can, but use that as a jumping off. Now, when you are getting paid from these platforms, when you're first starting out, do not go and take your first check and go buy something. No, just buy anything. Don't do that. I would then take that money and invest in a camera, lights, a microphone, or maybe a computer. Whether it's a step up, you should always be trying to upgrade your content to be more quality content. Maybe you should invest in like some non-copyrighted music or anything of such like that. That's what's going to elevate your content. That's what's going to make it more alluring to viewers. So you should be always using the money that you earn and be investing it in something else. You should always be wanting to build on top of it. This money that you're receiving from your platforms is what we call in business seed money, or investing is called seed money. It's the seed that you're going to plant, and that's what's going to grow, all right, and grow into something bigger. Lastly, I'm just going to touch on another way that you can get income. Really, there's multiple ways, but you have to decide whether or not you're going to work with different companies, or are you going to be solo. With that being said, you can have a blog that's monetized through ads. You can have, if you just want to go solo, you don't want to work with any companies at all. I know some people like Bag a Day Crochet. She doesn't get money, get free yarn, get sponsorships from no company. She is successful all on her own through her patterns and her YouTube videos. And I think that's amazing. I'm not there yet. So I would say make a blog. If you plan on selling your products, you can sell them through like some place like Shopify or whatever website you decide that you want to go with. However, you have to realize that you're going to be shipping stuff off and keeping up with invoices and stuff like that. You can also write. If you are going to be writing your patterns and posting them on your blog, whether they're for free or people have to pay for it, like downloadable content through your website, you can do both of those. You can have your website and it has ads on it, and so you get paid by AdSense based off of how long somebody's on your website. With that being said, you need to make content on your website that's worth staying there. So really do your research. Find out topics that you're really passionate about, not trending topics, topics that you are passionate about, because that's what's going to make the content. Okay. Another thing before I get started into another form of monetization, you need to niche down. And what I mean by niching down is finding that topic that you are an absolute expert in. And 90%, or was it the 30-70 rule? 70% of your content needs to be that niche. And then the other 30% can be whatever you want it to be, right? I tell you this, and I haven't done it myself. I'm still trying to find my niche. You'll know it when you see it. You'll know it when you see it, what my niche is, and if I niche down or not. But you need to niche down. I see a lot of content creators that have really good content, but it's not organized. It's all over the place. And it's not recognizable. How do you make your brand or your content recognizable? Let me give you an example. Whenever I see a TL Yarn Crafts pattern, the vibe of the colors are the same, the patterns are in the same level of expertise. They look like they belong together. I don't know how to explain it, but go to the TL Yarns website and just look at her catalog of patterns. They all have the same vibe. She has the same color story. There's not like, she doesn't do like mosaic crochet and intarsia and all this other stuff. It's pretty uniform down the line. So whenever I'm on the Lion Bread website and it doesn't outright say like TL Yarn Crafts pattern kit or whatever they call it, like the kit, just by looking at the picture, I can tell it's a TL Yarn Crafts pattern. I'm gonna click on it because I want to know more. Same thing with Betty McKnit. She has a certain pattern. So when you look at it, whether it's on Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, that's a 6-day star blanket, or that's a 6-day kid blanket, or that's a Betty McKnit pattern. Whatever it is, because she has a certain style from her patterns that are the same across the board. That's what's called niching down. So I have not found my niche. Okay, even though I'm telling you to do it, I haven't found mine yet. And maybe that's going to be something that I talk about in a later podcast. I'm still exploring it. I have so much enthusiasm about different techniques and different things throughout the crochet. Crochet is so vast, but I have so much passion about everything. I need to find one that I can be an expert in. Okay, so that's niching down, making about your content. Next, we're going to talk about brands investing in you. And I'm going to do a whole nother podcast episode about getting brand deals and working with brands and etiquette and things to look forward to. When you start working on YouTube and making your videos and making your content, brands are going to reach out to you. You need to decide whether or not you are going to work with them or not. There's going to be brands that reach out to you, never seen a minute of your content, never seen anything that has to do with crochet, knitting, or anything. And it's going to be a brand that's like a hair dryer, like selling hair dryers. It's going to be a brand that sells like mosquito repellent. There's going to be brands that want you to like um they're going to want you to be like selling insurance for them. You have to realize what brands you want to work with, what brands you don't want to work with. Now, some of these brands are going to be like, yeah, I want you to sell my yarn, and it's crappy yarn. You know what I'm saying? Do your research before, some people are like, oh, you got to sign a contract. Now, if somebody is gifting you something for free, you're not obligated to make a video about it, especially if you don't sign any paperwork, okay? If somebody sends you yarn or crochet hook or any type of tool and they want you to review on your channel and it's trash, you don't have to review it, or you review it honestly. I've had many occasions where somebody has brought me something and I told them, I don't like this product. Do you still want me to do a video? And they say no. Or I say, I don't like this product. Do you still want me to do an honest review? And they say, yes, do an honest review. Some people just want their name out there and have, it floating around in the community. Some people are hoping that even though their product is not good, that you're going to still give a good review because they gave you something for free. Just because they gave you something on the free does not mean it's for me, okay? I tell people that all the time. If it's not a good product, I'm not going to lie and say it is. That's how you build trust within your community. Next, there are going to be brands that want to reach out to you, and they are good products, and they are bigger brands. But now you have to determine whether or not you're going to start accepting commissions. That's a whole nother thing that I'm going to talk about in another podcast episode, because I can go on and on and on about brand commissions. There are going to be some brands that want to work with you, and they're going to want you to either write patterns, or they're going to want you to collaborate with them on a yarn color palette or formulating a yarn or something along those lines. That's a little bit, you got to be a little bit higher. I haven't even gotten there yet. You're going to want to be a little bit higher. They're going to want, a little bit higher up there in influence. And there's some brand that's going to ask you to collaborate on tools or accessories and stuff like that. There's some brands that are going to ask you to write a pattern that they're going to release on their website for free. I'm going to teach you how to navigate that. And then there are going to be some brands that are going to want to buy your pattern and the rights to your pattern for kids, but you still get commission off of that as well. I'm going to teach you about that later on. So those are just some of the different ways that you can get paid or monetize your content. So you can make videos, make video content, whether it's long form or short form content. You can run a blog that's monetized through ads, or you can sell your pattern straight from your website, which is ideal. You can also make branded content, taking commission-based content. You can make some money that way. Or you can work directly with look at this, I can't even keep this finger up. Or you can make content directly with the brand and they pay you directly. Okay? Whether it's videos, ads, all of that good stuff. But the first things you need to think about when you're doing this is your personality, your content, and your consistency, okay? You will not be able to get to the next step without that base, right? So just remember that when you're going through your beginning phase. Yeah, we all want to shoot to the top really quickly, but the faster you shoot to the top, the faster you fall, okay? There are content creators that blew up during the pandemic, crochet content creators that blew up during the pandemic, and they were radical. They were doing this, they were saying this, they were putting on a show for people, not really living in their truth when it comes to their personality. And as soon as that sparkle wore off and we all actually got outside, they are no longer the big bag content creators that they were in the crochet community. Some of them get burnt out. Some of them just can't keep up the facade of this radical person. And then there's content creators that have stayed the same since I said video 1 all the way to video 999. So that's what you want, and you're gonna have to think about that in your content. So the longer it takes for you to build up to success, the harder it is for you to get knocked down. So you need to make the conscious decision now when you're making your content. What do you want to do? Do you want to make some quick money now? Or do you want a business that can sustain itself and has longevity? All right. So that's going to be part 1 of how to get paid as a crochet content creator here on the Cozi Crochet Podcast. All right, guys. That's going to be it for today's video. Did you learn anything? Let me know down below in the comments. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Let's make some money. And don't forget to create something gorgeous. Bye, guys.